Good morning, students. Dear student, today I am going to discuss with you chapter number 5 of Indian Economic Development titled Human Capital Formation. Before starting this lesson, I want to discuss with you whatever is given in this PPT. This PPT starts with the introduction. In this part, you will able to find out meaning of human capital formation, why human capital formation is needed in an economy, what are the problems in the process of human capital formation, and certain practical suggestions to tackle the problem of human capital formation in India. After studying this chapter, the learners will understand the concepts of human resource, human capital formation, and human development. The link between investment in human capital, economic growth, and human development. The need for government spending on education and health, and the state of India's educational attainment. Now, I am giving you the introduction of this topic, that is the topic human capital formation. Basically, wealth and capital are two separate concepts, two different concepts. When we talk about the capital, when we say something about the capital, we are not talking about the whole wealth, because capital is a part of wealth which is used for further production. Whole wealth is never used for further production. It may include gold, silver, bank deposits, but capital is only that part of the wealth which is used for further production. Now this capital can be formed in the physical assets. This capital can also be formed in the human resources. When this capital is formed or invested in the physical asset like plant and machinery, it is called physical capital formation or physical investment. And at the same time, when capital is invested in the human beings, it is called human capital formation. But as the very clear is that human capital formation, physical capital formation are totally different. Why these are different? Because physical capital formation, it means investment in the physical assets are clearly visible. When we invest our money into the plants, machinery, equipments, land, building, it is seen, it is visible, whereas the investment in the human beings is not visible. Now the question arises, how we can invest in the human beings, how investment should be made in the human beings, because investment in the human beings is not directly done, rather investment in the human beings is done indirectly. Now, before telling you the meaning of human capital formation, I have discussed with you the meaning of capital. Now, I am telling you the meaning of human capital. Human capital is the stock of habits, knowledge, social and personality attributes embodied in the ability to perform labor so as to produce economic values. In simple words, human capital means availability of skilled, talented, educated, experienced expertise in any nation at any particular point of time, which positively contribute in the production process or which have capacity to increase the production process in any economy. Now, what is physical capital and what is physical capital formation? Physical capital refers to all those inputs which are required for further production, like plant, machinery, equipments. These all are needed for further production. And when amount is invested, capital is invested in the plants, machinery, this whole is known as the physical capital investment. So physical capital, human capital, and another one is also financial capital. Now what is financial capital? Financial capital refers to the stocks, shares of the companies, or these are simply financial claims against assets of the companies. Financial capital consists of titles of the ownership of physical capital. But physical capital as well as human capital are two different concepts. Now, how these two are the different? As I am clearly saying that physical capital is tangible and it can be easily sold in the market, means investment in the physical assets are those which can be seen, touch, transfers, whereas human capital is not tangible, it cannot be seen, touch, transfer from one place to another place. Similarly, Physical capital depreciate with the passage of time, means machinery going on depreciating. Generally human capital depreciation no doubt takes place, but very little way. Similarly, physical capital is mobile from one place to another place. Human capital is mobile, but it is less mobile as compared to physical capital. Similarly, physical capital separated from its owner, whereas the human capital can never be separated from its owners. Now the question arises, what are the sources of human capital formation? What are the sources of human capital formation, or how capital can be formed in the human beings? How to increase the knowledge, efficiency, skill of the human beings? And the first indicator, first step of formation of human capital is education. When we invest our money in the education, it increases knowledge, skill, efficiency of the human beings, which results positive effect on the productivity. Now with this figure, with this image, you can clearly understood that adequate education and training the farmers can raise productivity in the farmers. With the equal size of land, how is it that his yield is more than mine? It means in this image one farmer is talking to another that I am also using the same field, my companion is also using the same field. Now why his production is more than me? Because one farmer is educated and another farmer is uneducated. It means expenditure on education is the first component of human capital formation. It means we must invest in the education in order to increase the productivity level, capability of the human beings. It puts positive effect on the human beings and production and productivity. Education. Spending on education by individual is similar to spending on capital goods by companies with the objective increasing future profit over a period of time. Because when the companies invest on the capital goods like machinery, plant, equipments, it increases their productivity. It gives them benefit not at the current time, it gives them benefit at the present time. In the same manner, investment in the human beings is also going to give benefits to the nation, but in the later on time. Likewise, the individuals invest in education with the objective of increasing their future. In the same way, education as human resource. As I am discussing with you, human resource refers to the population of a country and the efficiency, productivity, skill and farsightedness of its inhabitants. Education is an important factor for the development of human resources. Now question arises, why education is an important resource? Why education is an important factor for increasing productivity in the nation? First thing, education improves upon the level of understanding. It means it increases our thinking power. It increases our understanding level, our capacity to understand the concepts. Similarly, it increases the capacity and mental efficiency of the people to produce more. At the same time, technical education develops the efficiency among laborers to use highly advanced techniques of production. Education modernizes the attitudes and behaviors of the people, which is important for rapid growth of the economy. Now, from this image, try to understand what the NCERT writer want to show you. From this image, it is shown that creating human capital means how the human capital is created. A school being run in a makeshift premises in the Delhi. It means first thing to increase human capital is providing education, and it is a picture showing that it is creating human capital. Here human capital is creating. Now it is creating by providing education in a school, because when the children will be educated, their effect on the economy will later on stage, but it will be positively impact, because an educated mind is always better than the uneducated mind. But in the another picture used by NCERT showing that school dropouts give way to child labor, loss to human capital. But in India, it is a tragedy that human capital is not increasing at the desired growth rate. There are several reasons, maybe less contribution of GDP to the education sector, or maybe growing population, maybe brain drain. But in this image, writer want to show you that school dropouts means the students who leave the school before attaining a particular age, called school dropouts, is increasing. Why it is increasing? There are several reasons, but in this image writer want to show that the main reason of school dropouts is child labor, means poverty. There is poverty in certain parts of the India on a massive large scale. Due to poverty, parents cannot afford the education to their children. They use their children as a labor because it gives them income rather than spending forms. So in this image, it is a drawback to the capital formation on the side of education. Now let us discuss educational sector in India. In India, basically, we divide the education into three parts: primary education, secondary education, and higher education.